Okay, so in today's video, I'll be featuring a car that I don't understand why BMW didn't quite build upon its success. It's a well-liked car. It's a handsome car, all right, well-styled, very, very good package, well-received, and I would say this car practically dominated its segment. I mean, the Mercedes CLS started the trend, but it was the BMW 6 Series Gran Coupe, the premium four-door coupe segment after it came out. Now, of course, you would say that they replaced it with the 8 Series Gran Coupe, but this formula really was never truly successfully replicated again. And today, even if you look at this car here as a 10-15-year-old car, this still looks beautiful. It still looks modern, looks stunning, right? This car looks still like it's easily worth 300,000 ringgit, 400,000 ringgit. But this particular example is calling for 188,000 ringgit, a bit on the high side, I know. There are examples in the market that are going for the low hundreds, right? 110, 120 like that. But hey, as I always say, when it comes to used cars, seller can set whatever price they want. But fact of the matter is, as a buyer, you can decide whether you want to meet the seller's asking price or just walk up and give an offer and put the ball in the seller's court and see what they have to say. You have nothing to lose. So just look at this. Look at the proportions of this car, right? It's beautiful. It's a 5 Series F10 underneath. And frankly speaking, you can get a 535i that gives you the same performance for half the money, but not the looks. Okay, because let's put it this way. Your 535i, you park next to a 520i, people can't tell you the difference. But this one, you can park next to a 7 Series, and right now, actually, your car is worth more, right? So this is the 6 Series Gran Coupe, and yeah, the overall shape itself, it's just a very handsome car already to start with, and the details, my God, look at the details. So look at this, okay? Start with frameless doors, and this particular example here even has soft closing. Now check out the rears, the rear doors. So as you open the rear doors behind here, you can see that this little detail here. I love this detail, man. So it has this this checkered pattern here, and there's the Gran Coupe wording right there. Look at the soft close in action. And yeah, the whole license plate on the bumper design is very well executed here in the 6 Series. Okay, and look at the proportions of this car is amazing because this is exactly the same rear end as the coupe and the cabriolet, but even though they lengthen it, the car doesn't look out of proportion. This is an amazing piece of design work. And this car here is an M Sport car. And the beauty about the 6 Series is M Sport or non-M Sport, it still looks great. All right. So the boot, look at the boot. Hey, this boot is pretty big, eh? Right. Pretty decently sized boot. And inside here, hidden is the first aid kit. And what's this? Got 60-40 split folding seats. And look at this. The release latch is so conveniently located here. So you pull this, and when you come here, drop. Drop. All right. And you can see, look at the length of the boot from here. It looks like you can really put a whole golf bag inside there. And well, it's not perfectly flat here. There's a bit of a hump, but you do get an insane amount of practicality for the package. And the thing is this, right? Yes, so after this generation, BMW replaced, or rather they reassigned the 6 Series badge to the Gran Turismo. Now, the 6 Series Gran Turismo, in my opinion, is also a product of its own strengths. And it's a lovely car, but it's not a car that should be wearing the 6 Series badge. In my opinion, they should have kept the G32 as a 5 Series Gran Turismo that is now more dynamic, right? Better looking, okay, because the original 5 Series Gran Turismo was ugly, right? So they can make that now more dynamic, more looking, and they should have kept the 6 Series. They should have built another generation of the 6 Series Coupe, 6 Series Cabriolet, 6 Series Gran Coupe of the G30 platform. And that to me was, indeed, in my opinion, an opportunity missed by BMW. They went ahead with the 8 Series, which basically set too high up a segment, too far away, okay, that it missed the original target segment. So this car here, it hit a sweet spot when it was around, and BMW moved into the 8 Series and the sweet spot was lost. Now, the highlight for this particular car, in my opinion, is this beautiful and sumptuous red interior. This is just gorgeous. It's lovely. So the 6 Series Gran Coupe, it's best operated as a 4-seater, but guess what? You also have middle passenger belts if you want to accommodate a 5th passenger, but not recommended. And even if you do, best for it to be a small-sized person. All right, and here you can see this is, oh, I missed this BMW armrest, man. Okay, so it's open 2 ways, cup holder as well as storage compartment. So this here is unlined. They could have put a lining here. Wow, this mechanism is solid, man. Okay, and I got rear blowers here. So it's a very nice, very cozy kind of place, and you sit very snugly here at the back, right? And overall, very, very nice environment to be in. Now, of course, a bit tight in space. I'm 170 centimeters tall, got about 2 fingers lah of headroom above me. All right, now let's check out the front. So at a glance, this cabin architecture is very, very similar to what you get in an F10 5 Series. But look closely at this part here. Now, this is an option, but this particular car here has this leather wrapped and stitched dashboard. So it makes the cabin look that extra grade of mahal inside here. Okay, so you can see here as well, there's this little compartment that you open up, 2 cup holders here for you to can drop your phones and all that. Here as well, wow, look at this. Soft opening ashtray here, cigarette lighter. Okay, and here the center console opens up. Okay, quite decently sized. So overall, this cabin, in terms of the controls, very familiar space if you have come from an F10 5 Series. Now, come check this out. Here's one indication of the car's superb condition. Look at this. Normally, F10s are of this age, right? This cluster here are all turn yellow already, but this one here, it still looks nice and white, and that is despite this car having already accumulated 100 over 1,000 of mileage. So when you see, you know, an F10 or F12, the instrument cluster that's not yellow, right, you can be rest assured that the owner of this car really took proper care of it. So the N55, the 3-liter N55 engine here in the 640i makes 320 horsepower, 450 Newton meters of torque. Okay, and well, I remember back in the day when I first experienced this engine, the 535i, I was absolutely blown away by the sheer pace that the car had. It was ridiculously fast. Although today's standards, these are not considered very fast cars at all. But look, in the context of day-to-day driving, these things are hardly slow, right? So let's go on our regular suspension test, and let's go over the humps. Now, from what I checked of the spec sheet, this car runs on passive suspension, and over those bumps and potholes just now, there were no rattles, no creaks whatsoever. So what this tells me is that the suspension is in good mechanical condition, and engine, well, at least as far as I can experience in low speeds, there's no jerking, no rattling, right? Everything in this car feels mechanically sound. All right. So with this car, right, with the 640i here, question now becomes, driving experience wise, is this any significantly different than that of an F10 535i? Well, it depends on how sensitive a driver you are. Now, I've experienced the F10 535i before, and I would say that the handling, it has a more bargy feel compared to the 6 Series here. The 6 Series has a tighter feel to it, okay? But if you're talking about in the context of day-to-day driving, a very average driver may not be able to tell the difference between this and an F10 5 Series. But where you really get the difference, of course, is, you know, things like the leather-wrapped interior. When you get down from the car, the aura that this car exudes, that is where this is a significantly higher grade package in compared with the F10 5 Series, even though mechanically they are, for all purposes, well, almost identical underneath, right? So the verdict now becomes, is this a car a good buy? Well, I would say this, the 6 Series Gran Coupe is a fantastic buy in the used car market today. This particular unit here at 188,000 ringgit asking price is on the high side. But I would say this, I have not seen one unit in this kind of spec with this leather wrapped interior, with the red and gray contrast interior and all this contrast stitching. This is a gorgeous interior, right? So this car, in my opinion, still looks and feels convincingly like that of a 200,000-300,000 car, even if the reality in the used car market is that it's probably, you know, a fraction of that price. How big of a fraction is it? I will leave that to you to negotiate with the seller of this car. But I would say this, if you're looking for a 6 Series Gran Coupe, this car here is something that you definitely want to look at, because I have not seen many examples that are in this kind of condition. So you definitely want to check this car. If you're interested, do fill in the form in the description section below. My team will be in touch. And of course, if you are looking to sell your car and would like to get back at least 85 to 90% of your car's market value, well, also fill in the same form and my team will be in touch to assist you. All right. So until my next video, take care, stay safe. See you soon.